When I first planted sesame, I had no idea how much I would love growing this heat-loving plant. The beautiful blooms that attracted pollinators, followed by the interesting pods, and then an abundance of sesame seeds to use in my kitchen. I loved growing sesame, and in today's video, I'm going to share my best tips for growing sesame so that you can grow it in your own garden. If we haven't met before, my name's Angela from Growing in the Garden, and I love to share garden inspiration and helpful tips so you can be successful in your own garden. I never even thought about growing sesame seeds until I heard Meg from Seed to Fork mention growing sesame seeds. She said that sesame is a warm season crop that does best with hot summers. If she could grow sesame successfully in Minnesota, I could learn how to grow this heat-loving crop in my hot summer climate of Arizona. I went ahead and planted sesame, and my suspicions were correct. Growing sesame was simple. Sesame thrived during our long hot summers. So sesame seeds have been grown for centuries. Sesame seeds are an excellent source of healthy fats and are high in fiber, vitamin B1, and other minerals. The flavor of homegrown sesame seeds is nothing like what you buy at the store. They actually have a lot of flavor. That was one of the reasons I was excited to try and grow my own sesame seeds, and the flavor does not disappoint. You might be able to plant sesame seeds from seeds that you have in your cupboard, but you'll probably have the best luck if you begin with seeds from a seed supplier. Sesame seeds for planting are available online in black and white and tan varieties. The black types are going to have a stronger flavor. Sesame needs a long growing season, so in most climates you're going to start seeds indoors 4 to 6 weeks before your last spring frost date. Then harden off the seedlings and plant sesame seedlings outside 2 to 3 weeks after your last frost date. Sesame definitely prefers warm soil. So sesame is a tough plant and is very tolerant of difficult soil and conditions, but you're going to get the highest yields from fertile, well-drained soil and adequate sunlight. I grew sesame in my raised beds with the raised bed mix from Arizona Worm Farm, and the sesame has thrived. It was very happy and grew really well all through our long hot summer. Just like you would think, sesame is going to need plenty of sunlight to grow well. Choose an area that gets at least 6 hours of sun. Although the seeds are really small, when you start them, the plants for sesame grow very large. Sesame plants will grow 3 to 4 feet tall and about 1 to 2 feet wide. I plant 1 sesame plant per square foot in my square foot garden. So here are a few tips for growing sesame. It grows well in hot, dry conditions. Water when the top inch of soil is dry, but avoid overwatering. When I planted sesame, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't exactly sure how the sesame seeds developed or what it would look like, and I was pleasantly surprised to see these beautiful flowers develop, and then these pods form. And the sesame seeds will form inside these pods. So the blooms develop and the pollinators come. They love the tubular flowers, and then these pods form along that stem. So all of those stems can get pretty heavy. You may need to provide some support. I felt like during our monsoon season. So sesame pods will ripen at the bottom of the stalk first. So keep an eye on those pods and they'll tell you when the rest are nearing harvest time. So you can harvest the individual pods or the entire stem. You want to harvest all of those pods as they begin to dry out, but before they split and spill the seeds. So I cut off those stems and then stored them in a large paper sack to dry. Once those pods completely dried out, the seeds fell out naturally into the bottom of the sack. I gathered the seeds from the bottom of the paper sack and then shook out the pods to remove any remaining seeds. Then I used a colander to sift out any plant material out of the harvested seed. From each sesame plant, I got about 1/3 cup of sesame seeds. So allow the seeds to completely dry before storing them, and then store them in an airtight jar in a cool, dark place. Now that I have homegrown sesame seeds, I love using them in several different ways. You can use them raw in salads, on top of bread, or in sushi. Toasting the sesame seeds really brings out a little bit extra flavor. Sesame was definitely a surprise crop. I had no idea how much I would enjoy growing sesame and using homegrown sesame in my garden. I hope you're inspired to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching.